14 countries in 14 days. And one of the cyclists is Neil Fowler. He's on the line live from Germany. Hi, Neil.
Hi, Gavin. Hi.
Morning. What's the weather like in Germany this morning?
If I was here on holiday, I'd say it's fantastic. Cyclist, not ideal, far too hot.
Not
again,
so good.
Unfortunately.
You really have, since you crossed over to the continent a few days ago, you really have had a lot of hot weather to deal with, haven't you?
Yeah, definitely temperatures up to around 40 degrees, which is not ideal for cycling these kind of distances, but it's just one of those things. You just get on with it and crack on.
Yeah, there's 3 of you cycling and 3 in the support team. You are Team Ciara. You're raising money for the charity Reverse Rett, because we spoke to you before you left when you came in the studio, and your daughter Ciara suffers from Rett syndrome. So the object of this is to raise as much money for the charity as possible. And, well, there was some great news in that regard yesterday, wasn't there?
Yes, there was. When we set the challenge, we had a minimum target of around £20,000, which we thought was ambitious, particularly given the fact that we did a challenge last year riding to Rome, and we'd, in essence, be asking many of the same people to support us again. So, as I said, we have a £20,000 target, and last night we broke through that barrier, and I think it stands now at around 20,300. So 4 days still to go.
Fantastic news. I'm sure it will get even higher in the next 4 days. So today you wake up in Germany, you're going to end the day in a place called Feldkirch, is it?
Feldkirch in Austria, yeah.
In Austria.
About 120 miles cycling today. We've already done in excess of 1,000 to this point. In terms of climbing, we've exceeded, I think, 45,000 feet worth of climbing. When you consider Everest is 29,000, something like that.
Wow, your legs must be aching.
Bit of climbing.
Your legs must really be aching.
To be honest, the legs aren't too bad. It's the heat side of things that I struggle with more than anything.
What about you? You and your cyclists, are you coping physically apart from the heat? Have you got any sort of blisters and aches and pains?
Touch wood. At the moment, I'm relatively injury-free. One of the lads, Michael Banner, has had Achilles issues for most of the ride, which flares up more so when we're on the hills. And given the fact that we're climbing most days, he's suffering a bit. Anti-inflammatories have become part of our daily diet. And unfortunately, Sean has gone down with a bad stomach this morning.
Is he going to be okay to cycle today?
He is. We're thinking it's more down to dehydration. So he's been drinking plenty this morning, getting plenty of fluids on board, and hopefully, he's kitted up, he's ready to go. So we'll just have to see how he gets on. But it's still going to be a tough day for him. 120 miles with an upset stomach.
And what's the terrain like today?
Pretty much the same as it's been the past few days. Very hilly. We're cycling from here down to Lake Constance in southern Germany. We pretty much follow the whole length of that lake to its southernmost point, and then we actually cross the border then into Austria. And then obviously we all know that Austria is mountainous. It's mountainous territory pretty much all the way to the finish now.
You got 3 countries in the one day, haven't you? You've got Austria, Liechtenstein and Switzerland all in the one day tomorrow. Yeah,
that's correct. Yeah, tomorrow's a relatively shorter day because we're staying at relatives of a couple of the support crew. So we're staying in a town called Davos. Unfortunately for us, Davos happens to be the highest city in Europe.
Well, it would
so
be,
we've got to cycle up to it.
Typical,
yeah, of course
typical. Why couldn't they live somewhere else? And then Friday, it's the Stelvio Pass, which we know from the Italian job.
That's correct, yeah, the Stelvio Pass. It's somewhere between 130, 140 miles of cycling, including the Stelvio Pass, one of the highest mountain passes in Europe. I think it's some 15 miles worth of climbing.
And there's a lot of snow up there, I believe, even at this time of the year.
Yeah. The Tour of Italy bike race was only a few weeks ago, and the weather at that time was terrible. But, the temperatures that have been around Europe for the past few days, hopefully most of that snow will have gone. We can see the Alps now from where we are.
Beautiful.
There's still plenty of snow on top.
Yeah. And then, of course, the challenge ends on Saturday at the end of day 14 when you finish up in Italy. And then we'll have to catch up with you again when you get back to Chester next week.
Sure.
And, of course, it's all about raising money for Reverse Ret. So justgiving.com/Team Ciara 14 14 14. If you could donate any amount, however small, it'll be gratefully received, and it all stacks up. Neil, I wish you and the boys all the very best today. Cycling from Tengen in Germany to Feldkirch in Austria. Good luck for the rest of the challenge, and we'll speak when you get back in Chester.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for your time, Gavin.
Not at all. When you get back, put your feet up for a few days of well-earned rest, and then come in and see us, won't you?
All right, will do. Lovely.
Cheers. Neil Fowler from Team Ciara. 14 countries in 14 days on a bike.